Chicago Bears president Kevin Warren gives shocking endorsement. Hello, everyone. I'm Andy here with Chicago Bears React, bringing you all the Chicago Bears news you're seeking in the season and now here in the off season. Before we dive into today's story, please take a moment, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Make sure you don't miss anything we're talking about over the coming weeks because, as has been noted time and time again, this is going to be arguably the most exciting offseason the Bears have had in decades. So you don't want to miss a thing. Make sure you get those notifications when new videos drop. Now, for today's story, we're going to take a look at something that's already started making the rounds a little bit, which is that Jarrett Payton, son of a guy you may know, Walter Payton, sat down with Kevin Warren yesterday and had a fairly extensive interview with the president about the Chicago Bears, and they covered everything from what's going on with the stadium to ultimately kind of what his relationship is like with Ryan Poles. And I think the piece that's probably going to get the most attention, if I had to guess, would be what appears to be a complete and full-throated endorsement of Justin Fields. And so we'll take a quick look at the actual direct quote here. He says, quote, "I'm a supporter of Justin because I got a chance to work with him when I was commissioner of the Big Ten Conference. He's incredibly talented. He's smart. He works hard. He wants to be a great NFL player. He just needs to make sure that he has the support around him. He's working hard. I would love for him this offseason to make sure he's totally healthy going into the next season. This is a difficult game." And he continues to go on. He talks about his size and speed. Quote, "I just think every year he's going to continually get better, so I'm glad he's on the Chicago Bears." I was not prepared for this. And for those of you who've watched all my videos, I have been operating under the assumption that Justin Fields is gone. There's frankly more smoke coming from that potential fire than the opposite. But this is interesting. And it's interesting to me not because I think Kevin Warren is going to be the decision maker here. Ultimately, this is still Ryan Poles' call. And if Ryan Poles tells him we got to go with Caleb, that's what they're going to do. But the fact that the way he's speaking about this is almost under the assumption that Field is back. That's at least notable. So we should talk about a couple reasons why he might do that. The most obvious reason he might do that is because the Bears actually intend to keep Justin Fields, and maybe everything going on over the last few weeks has been a giant smokescreen trying to drum up interest in the number one pick so they could trade it. Could be. You never know. There's been a lot of reports out there about Washington wanting to make a trade up to number one. And, there have been a number of reports that have made their way to NFL insiders basically talking about the Bears would need a historic return for number one. Who knows? Maybe the Bears are getting that kind of information out there because they're trying to maximize the value of the pick. It's entirely plausible. Do I think it's likely? No. But is it plausible? Sure. It definitely could happen. Another report that was out there during kind of the run up to the Super Bowl, Adam Schefter said, and he had this with confirmed sources that the Bears have had conversations about having both Caleb Williams and Justin Fields on the roster next year. That's a conversation that has actually taken place at House Hall. And you'd have to be a little concerned about that. But at the same time, you could kind of see why, potentially, right? So you don't know if Caleb's going to be it. You also don't know what Shane Waldron could do with Justin Fields. And instead of trading Justin at a place where he's got value, but not necessarily like huge value, you could just go into training camp with both of them and just see what happens, see what you have. And if in training camp Caleb Williams is just blowing people away and is just clearly better than Fields, then you trade him to whatever team has their quarterback get hurt first, right? And you look for an opportunity to trade Justin to a desperate team. That's a thing you could do. And then you don't run the risk of Caleb looking like a bust in training camp, and then all of a sudden you've given up on Fields, who's now torching people out in Pittsburgh or Vegas. You basically just let the quarterback competition play out. Why not? So that's another reason potentially that Kevin Warren might be saying the things he's saying. The other reason could very well be just because Kevin is doing his duty to try to help Brian Poles get a better draft pick in return for Justin Fields. And we shouldn't discount that. At the end of the day, Kevin is a part of the smokescreen too, right? And he's not dumb. He knows what he's doing. They've got great PR people working out of Hallis Hall, and you better they're smart enough to know that this question was going to be asked. And so, whatever reasoning he has for answering the question the way he did, he was prepped for it. And this was not just him giving an off-the-cuff response. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was saying. And so it's really just, is this part of a smokescreen to trade the number one pick? Is it a part of a smokescreen to trade Justin Fields? Or is this because the Bears are actually thinking about just keeping both of them? We will see. Let me know in the comments what you think is going on. Which of those three do you think is the most likely scenario? Do you think the Bears are looking to trade the pick, to trade Justin, or to run into training camp with both Caleb and Justin in your quarterback room? Thank you so much for watching. And as always, everyone, bear down.